A developing controversy for the president tonight. After attending a memorial for the Fort Hood soldiers killed and wounded 1 week ago today, just a few hours later, he was back in the air, making his way to not one but two fundraisers in a move that radio host Mark Levin says is nothing less than a, quote, disgrace.
The president is actually spending more time fundraising in Texas than honoring those who were murdered at Fort Hood at the memorial ceremony. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I believe this man is a disgrace.
Joining me now, Pete Hegseth. He's CEO of Concerned Veterans for America, and Joe Trippi is a former presidential campaign manager. Both are Fox News contributors. Pete, as a combat vet yourself, what do you think?
Well, I think Mark Levin's onto something, and you know, part of the reason he's onto it is because this is a pattern, Megan. The optics of this are a pattern that veterans and military members have seen repeated time and time again. Walk in, shake hands, take a photo, move on. Same thing happened with Fort Hood. We never did admit that that was a terrorist attack, so here we are 5 years later, still not pinning Purple Hearts on the guys that were attacked. Whether it's Afghanistan, yeah, we're going to surge you, tell the enemy when you're going to leave. There's no wonder the troops rate him 25 points lower than President George W. Bush, because understand in George W. Bush's gut, he's there for a reason they relate to. With the president, it feels like a photo op, and when you're doing that and going straight to a campaign event, it reinforces that.
Joe, why don't his advisors say, Mr. President, this is not a good idea to have this fundraiser on the same day?
Because, look, I think that, you know, it's Mark Levin understandably doesn't, you know, would think the president was wrong no matter what he did. But I think one of the things that's going on here is I watched the service this morning, and I thought the president was remarkable, comforting the families, talking to veterans. And then I suspect that millions of Americans who watch that are right now at the Houston Astros game, or the Texas Rangers game, or the Dallas Stars game, or the Houston Rockets games, and games all over America tonight. And there's going to be, I would hope, a moment of silence at those games. But they went on. They're having a great evening. And the really sad part is whether that moment of silence tonight is for those who lost their lives at Fort Hood, or for 19 children in Pennsylvania who were stabbed today. But I mean, I think the president, all of us as Americans, were at that event, saw the president, watched it, but then we, you know, people didn't. The Major League Baseball did not cancel all its games this morning.
But
we didn't
Joe,
it's
not about the coverage. It's about the president's actions. We at Fox News carried that whole event live today. They saw
I know,
the president.
that's where I watched it.
But now there's a distraction because Pete, we didn't talk about, there was no discussion like this on the night of the Fort Hood shootings when he went to the fundraisers. He had a couple fundraisers that night, okay? But now here we are a week later on the memorial, and again.
But
sure.
But Megan,
that's
look,
for Pete.
Well, yeah. Just like we were talking about it after Benghazi. Benghazi attacked. The next day, he's in California for a fundraiser. We should have seen it coming, in fact, on a campaign trail during the financial collapse. He's off to Hollywood. This is something we've seen from him. He's done 3 times as much fundraising in the second term as George W. Bush or Clinton, 3 times as much as Ronald Reagan as well. This guy he's political to his core. He's demonstrated that. So a day like this, where it should be so sacred and it should stand alone as its own event, they can't get out of their own way when it comes to more fundraising, more campaigning. This is what they do. And you know what? I think he does turn the switch on and off. And Mark Levin says you can't. I think this president has a way of doing it. Problem is the optics, again, reinforce the wrong message.
I'll give you the last word, Joe.
Unfortunately, I could give you a long list of Republicans tonight that are having fundraisers here in Washington, D.C.
But they're not the president of the United States.
Well, they're just happen to be members of Congress who happen to represent all of us as well.
All right, guys. Good debate. Good to see you both.
Thank you.